Tonight,
now that's scary for us.
2 men shot and neighbors shaken after a violent robbery at a home jewelry store. Also tonight, pumped for savings.
It does make a big difference.
The price of fuel is on the downswing, but will it last? Plus, safe and sound. What does the future hold for a decades-old time capsule formerly stored at Portage Place Mall?
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with shocking video of a violent armed robbery in progress. It shows a group of masked men armed with guns and a bat storming into a home-based jewelry business and confronting 2 men inside. Both of those men are in hospital tonight recovering from gunshot wounds. CTV's Joseph Bernacki has been following this story for us and joins us now with more. Joseph, what happened?
Marilee, it was like a scene right out of a Hollywood heist movie. Last Thursday around 6:30 p.m., 4 armed masked men busted through the door of Rajan Jewelers on Backman Bay, which is located in the Maples, and it was all caught on camera. While we don't have that video to show you tonight, I have seen it, and I can tell you it's shocking. It shows a family sitting on the couch inside this home, panic at the sight of the armed men before running outside. The men appear to make a beeline for the area of the home where the jewelry business is set up. They then confront 2 men working, and things get physical. 1 man is seen fighting back and throwing items at the thieves. It's a terrifying situation that has left those involved and those living nearby on edge.
The customers don't know the actual address. My understanding is they're looking at the Google map and it doesn't isolate which house the business is at, and so they've been arriving at our house, my parents' house, asking if we're the business. So now that's scary for us because the robbers could mistake our house for the jewelry business.
The 2 victims, aged 56 and 33, were taken into hospital in unstable and stable condition for gunshot wounds. It's not known how much money worth of jewelry was stolen.
Joseph, do we know anything about the suspects involved in this?
No, we don't, Marilee, but police do have information about their vehicle. Investigators are now looking for information about this vehicle, a black 2020-2021 Volkswagen Jetta sedan. Police don't know what the license plate number is, but they say it arrived by driving eastbound on Jefferson Avenue and circled the block a few times before the robbery. It then fled westbound on Jefferson Avenue. Anyone with information or surveillance footage is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers.
All right, thanks for this, Joseph. Drivers could have more money in their pockets heading into the Christmas season. Gas prices are falling in the prairies, averaging 137.9 cents a liter in August. Tonight, they're down closer to 119, and one analyst says we could see some stations selling under $1.10 per liter in the next couple of months. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, there are storm clouds that could push prices up.
Keith Dimitrioff says when the cost of gas spikes, his vehicle sits idle.
You just don't go out as much. That's all it comes down to. You got to watch where you go.
But lately, he has noticed the price at the pump has dropped. On Friday, some stations in Winnipeg posted gas as low as $1.14.8 and $1.15.9 per liter.
They're a little better, but I still think they should be cheaper.
And they could very well be.
And we are seeing some of the lowest gas prices across much of the prairies that we've seen really since 2021.
In Alberta, drivers are seeing some postings hovering around $1. Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy says by the holidays, Manitoba could see numbers close to that.
We could see some stations under 110. I don't think we'll quite get below the $1 a liter mark in Manitoba.
DeHaan says the downward trend is due to the low price of oil per barrel because of tensions between the U.S. and China and additional oil supply on the world market. This is good news for small businesses like Roadrunner Courier, where gas is a top expense for the husband and wife team.
It does impact, with the higher the cost, that's less take home for us.
They spend $120 and $150 to fill up their trucks.
With his truck, he burns a lot of gas because of the size of the truck. My truck, it's a little bit better, but it's still, I fill up every couple days, he fills up daily.
Still, there could be a short-term bump at the pump following a fire at an oil refinery in Indiana, which supplies the prairies.
This refinery glitch could impact prices, setting them higher briefly for the next week or two, and then we could eventually see kind of a retest of these low prices.
Keith Dimitrioff is hoping for a break when he fills up, but he's skeptical.
because it fluctuates every day. They say one thing and then something else happens.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
It's been 2 years since a 70-year-old woman from southeastern Manitoba disappeared. Joanna Jean Backman from the RM of Piney was last seen on October 13th, 2023. Police say she spoke to a friend 2 days later, but that was the last time anyone heard from her, despite an extensive ground and air search in the following days. Backman was never found. Today, investigators released these photos of Backman taken just days before she disappeared. They believe she was wearing that same green jacket the day she disappeared.
The investigation is now in the hands of the Manitoba Integrated Missing Persons Coordination Center. They've been interviewing people. They've been looking at every tip received, investigating everything thoroughly. But it's still a mystery as to what happened to Jean and how she disappeared. So we're asking the public to help.
RCMP are urging anyone with information about Backman's disappearance to come forward and call Sprague RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Public health officials are warning about 3 new potential measles exposures in southern Manitoba. They are Garden Valley Collegiate on Main Street in Winkler on October 9th from 5:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Health officials note this includes a volleyball game that was played at the school. The Dairy Queen in Winkler is also an exposure site that same day from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And Zion Church, located at 208 Hespler Avenue East in Schazenfeld on October 12th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Anyone who was at these sites during these times is asked to monitor for symptoms. A message to future Winnipeggers will be delivered as promised, even though its current home is undergoing a redevelopment. When Portage Place Mall officially opened in 1987, a time capsule was placed beneath the clock tower. It's filled with 80s memorabilia and is not supposed to be opened until 2062, 75 years after the mall opened. Well, tonight we can tell you the Forks North Portage Partnership has taken possession of the time capsule after being asked to do so by True North. A spokesperson tells us it will be kept in storage at the Forks along with other important archives until it's time to crack it open 37 years from now. We got a bit of a wait, Colleen.
We sure do.
Right.
Can't wait to see what's in it, though.
I know. I'm very curious. I wonder if anyone took a peek.
I don't know, just a little bit. Just a little bit,
yeah.
Just a little bit.
Very
over
curious.
There at the Forks.
All right.
Maybe.
The 80s had lots of good stuff. I'm just saying.
Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
Let's get to the weekend forecast. Hopefully you got some good stuff in that too.
It's getting better stuff. Let's put it that way. We had some misty conditions over the last hour. That's after the rain and the showers that have come through Winnipeg. It's cloudy now here. It's cloudy in Brandon. You can see not a lot is popping up on the radar here. There's more rain falling right now to the east in northwestern Ontario. That doesn't mean that this Colorado low is done with us just yet in Manitoba. It's slowly making its way further north, but we'll have a look at how much has fallen already, where that Colorado is going, and when Colorado low is going, by the way, and where the sunshine, where it's going to show up tomorrow, and how long it's going to last. How about all that? Let's take a look through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, it's cloudy. It's also pretty windy, 10 degrees, winds out of the west-northwest at 26 kilometers an hour, gusting up to 37. The pressure is dropping, and the humidity right now merrily is 92%.
Thanks, Colleen. The city has launched a multi-million-dollar project to bring its archives back to the historic Carnegie Library. The building at 380 William Avenue is 120 years old and was the city's first public library. For decades, the city's archives were housed here right up until 2013 when rain damage forced it to move to a temporary location. Now the city is putting $22.7 million into redeveloping the building and bringing the archives back. The project will include spaces for reconciliation activities like smudging and ceremonies, as well as room for public programming and research. It will also feature a climate-controlled storage vault. The project is expected to wrap up in 2027. And the city is preparing to table its preliminary budget on November 14th. Public meetings are being held for each department during the first 2 weeks of December. Those dates are up on your screen. You can sign up to appear as a delegate during those meetings, or you can submit your thoughts in writing by heading to the city's website. The 2026 budget will be before full council on December 17th. There's more room to stroll along the shores of Lake Winnipeg lately. Onlookers are marveling at how high winds have pushed the water north. And while it may be a natural part of the lake cycle, low water levels are bad news for folks who fish for a living. Harrison Shin has that story.
Joel Greenberg has weathered a lot of different winds in his time as a fisher on Lake Winnipeg, but lately the wind's been acting up and exposing a lot more of the shoreline.
The strong south winds push the water north and drops the water levels. Normally this time of year the prevailing winds would be north.
This video taken this week shows a very different shore. The sand extends way further out than normal. For Greenberg, low water levels affect his livelihood and his wallet.
For some reason, we're having strong south winds, which is pushing the water to the north and keeping the fish to the north. I'm not making as much money as I normally would this time of year because there's not a lot of fish around.
Rick Gargatz monitors the lake often as administrator for the Lake Winnipeg report. He explains that wind is not the only factor.
We didn't have much snowfall last winter and a very dry spring and summer, so this results in the lake levels dropping.
He said the lake is constantly fluctuating throughout the year, and it is complicated to pin down a single reason.
It's just nature cycles.
Greenberg says the forecast shows south and westerly winds for the next 2 weeks, but he's hoping for a shift, especially as the season comes to a close.
We have 20 days left of fishing, so hopefully something happens and the forecast change and we get the north winds. And then the lake levels will come back up.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Gimli.
Manitoba communities are set to receive more than $82.3 million from the federal government. Canada's Housing and Infrastructure Minister Gregor Robertson made the announcement at a new Winnipeg fire station in Waverly West. He says this funding, coming from the Canada Community Building Fund, will be used for all sorts of different infrastructure projects like public transit, water systems, local roads, and bridges. It will be spread across 137 municipalities here in Manitoba.
They have the opportunity to make these strategic infrastructure investments across a range of 19 different categories. So it's very flexible. This is leaving those decisions to the local level to make sure they can invest in the projects that stimulate local economies and connect our communities.
More than $50 million is coming to Winnipeg, including $7 million for Winnipeg Transit. The city of Brandon is set to receive more than $3 million, and just over $1 million is going to the city of Steinbach. To see a full breakdown of how each community is set to receive, just head to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. We're getting a look at a new Indigenous-led housing development under construction in St. Boniface. During a ceremony this morning, Opaskwayak Cree Nation unveiled its plans for La Cour, a 6-story development going up on Marion Street. It's the result of a collaboration between the First Nation and Freed Home Developments. It will include 127 units, including 52 affordable units and 43 units set aside for First Nation members. OCN Chief Michael Constant says La Cour will be a new home for members of his community.
A lot of the vendors, hotels, are overcrowded right now. This allows and gives us the ability to house the medical, house our students, house our people in general, and be part of the city of Winnipeg. And this is going to be their home. This is all our home.
The project has a budget of $38 million and is set to be completed in the fall of 2026. The residential school totem pole damaged in a summer storm is coming down to get repaired. Crews were removing the 21-meter pole today in Assiniboine Park. It was hit by lightning in August and sustained significant damage. The Southern Chiefs organization is overseeing the work. It's recruited a construction company to remove the totem pole and take it to a storage facility. There, conservation experts and the artist will assess the damage to see if it can be restored. The totem pole is considered a sacred reminder of the truths of the residential school era.
The story behind this pole is a part of our resilience. It carries the voices of survivors, the memory of those who never returned home, and the strength of our nations to heal and to move forward. As SCO, we remain committed to preserving the totem pole and ensuring that its story continues to be shared in a meaningful and accessible way.
SCO erected the totem pole in 2022. If it can be restored, the pole will eventually be moved into the atrium of the former Hudson Bay building, which is currently being transformed into a cultural housing and commercial space. Grand Chief Jerry Daniels says atrium construction is expected to be completed in the next few weeks. There are signs tonight wage increases may cool in the new year. A cross-country survey of hundreds of businesses shows what you might be able to expect your paycheck to look like in 2026. Those details just ahead. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added 16 cents. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.25 cents U.S. Gold fell $91. The TSX dropped 350 points. The Dow Jones gained 238 points, while the Nasdaq finished the day 117 points higher. Canadian companies are planning to be a little more conservative with wage increases in the coming year. That's according to consulting firm Eckler, which surveyed more than 500 organizations between July and August. Nationwide, organizations are planning average increases to their base salaries of 3.3%, which is slightly below the actual average increase of 3.4% in 2025. Manitoba was slightly below the average at 3.2%. The top projected salary increases were noted in the professional services and agriculture sectors, while charities, oil and gas, and education and healthcare were the lowest. Applications are now open for a new program aimed at offsetting some of the costs of switching to green energy. The Climate and Economy Solutions program is open to a wide range of groups, such as municipalities, for and not-for-profit businesses, school boards, and First Nation groups. The funds can be used to switch equipment from gas and diesel to renewable energy, vehicle retrofits, geothermal heating systems, solar energy projects, and much more. The deadline for the first round of applications is December 1st. You can head to gov.mb.ca/grants to find out more and apply. Mark Carney announced plans to beef up the border today, stating Canadians must look out for ourselves in a dangerous and divided world. Among other things, the Prime Minister pledged to hire 1,000 new border officers with the aim of cracking down on illegal drugs and guns. CTV's Judy Trin now on the border plan and the pre-budget spending promise.
But we also have a slew of other prohibited devices.
Examples of illegal weapons seized at the Niagara Falls border crossing. To thwart growing threats, the Liberal government is funding more border security agents.
During the election campaign, we were clear that our borders had to be secure so everyone in Canada can feel safe. And we promised to hire 1,000 new CBSA officers to bolster our border protection efforts.
The upcoming budget will allocate $617 million to recruit 1,000 CBSA officers over the next 5 years, a pledge made by Mark Carney while campaigning to be Prime Minister.
So how many of those boots are going to be on the ground? Are we actually waiting for the budget for this funding to come through? Because we haven't had a budget. It comes in November. So there are actually more questions than answers that we got from the minister's announcement today.
A focus will be on hiring special analysts who can identify suspects connected to organized crime, human smuggling, immigration fraud, and terrorism.
It is very promising. We have to start somewhere. It's something we've been asking for a long time. Our members will be really happy to hear that this is going to come about.
The union representing border guards says the challenges include a need to expand training facilities and provide more equipment like these X-ray machines to agents so they can do more searches.
We don't really examine rail. We examine less than 1%. We have land borders, airports, which really overuse students, where we need to get officers in those positions. It's really across the board.
Hiring these new CBSA officers are measures on top of the $1.3 billion border security plan announced last year by the Liberals under Justin Trudeau. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The RCMP is forcefully denying allegations of political interference lobbed by Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. In an interview posted online, Poilievre accused the Mounties of shielding former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau from criminal charges, even calling the force's leadership, quote, despicable. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on the accusations of a cover-up and the blowback.
Many of the scandals of the Trudeau era should have been involved
jail time.
In an interview posted to YouTube, the Conservative leader ripped into his former House of Commons opponent for the 2019 SNC-Lavalin affair and Justin Trudeau's 2016 family vacation on the Aga Khan's private island, as well as how the RCMP handled the cases.
The RCMP covered it all up, and the leadership of the RCMP is frankly just despicable when it comes to enforcing laws against the Liberal government.
There's no interference. I don't take any orders from any political individual.
When the RCMP's top cop rejected cover-up claims,
I would invite Monsieur Poilievre to meet with us and to meet with the people who run this great organization.
Pierre Poilievre said he would accept the invitation and doubled down.
If the RCMP commissioner is now saying that he wants to open that investigation, we're prepared to hand over all the evidence of Mr. Trudeau's criminal code violations.
In this case, the opposition leader is going a bit too far.
This political strategist says there is room to challenge and critique, but to win new voters, Poilievre may want to adopt a more moderate approach to complex issues like the state of the RCMP.
Pierre Poilievre thinks people are fired up about Justin Trudeau. He and his caucus are fired up about Justin Trudeau, but I think the public has moved on.
And to recap from the prior government, the ethics commissioner did find Prime Minister Trudeau broke the rules in both cases, but the RCMP said there wasn't enough evidence for a criminal offense in the SNC case. And in the case of the near decade-old vacation, even though long pressed by the Conservatives, the RCMP said it couldn't productively pursue a criminal investigation. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Donald Trump hosted Ukraine's president at the White House today. The focus, a request for U.S. Tomahawk missiles Kyiv says it desperately needs.
Ukraine has such thousands of our production drones, but we don't have Tomahawks. That's why we need Tomahawks. But the United States is a very strong production, and the United States has Tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles. But they can have our thousands of drones. That's why where we can work together, where we can strengthen American production.
Is that something that you would be interested in, Ukrainian drones?
We are, yeah, we would. We have a lot of drones right now. We build our own drones, but we also buy drones from others, and they make a very good drone. I mean, drone warfare has really come to the fore over the last couple of years because of this war.
After the meeting, Volodymyr Zelenskyy said Ukrainian and American teams are working on drones. The U.S. president signaled he is not ready to sell Ukraine long-range Tomahawk missiles, though. Trump says his country also needs them, and he doesn't want to deplete its own stock. Today, he said he believes the war can be ended soon and a decision on the missiles would not be necessary. Trump spoke by phone yesterday with Russian President Vladimir Putin and says they agreed to meet in Budapest in a few weeks. Prince Andrew has given up his royal titles. He will remain a prince, but will lose the Duke of York title he received from his mother, Queen Elizabeth. In a statement, he says accusations about him are distracting from the work of the king and the royal family, and he, quote, vigorously denies the accusations. It comes from the release of a posthumous memoir by Virginia Giuffre, in which she claims she was sex trafficked to Prince Andrew by Jeffrey Epstein. The Prime Minister was in Kitchener this afternoon tapping a keg at Oktoberfest, and Mark Carney invoked the name of a certain Toronto Blue Jays slugger before taking a swing.
Mr. Prime Minister, are you ready?
I'm Vladdy Guerrero Jr.
Oh, he says he's Vladdy Guerrero Jr. He is about to spank that spigot out of the park, ladies and gentlemen. So that means we gotta get super loud for him. Here we go. Eins, zwei, drei, spank that.
What organizers call Canada's greatest Bavarian festival started 3 weeks ago and will end tomorrow. Meanwhile, Carney is traveling to Malaysia, Singapore, and South Korea at the end of the month. He will be there 9 days to attend 2 multinational summits.
This document should also have your bank accounts, investments, and recurring bills.
It may be uncomfortable to think about your death or the death of a loved one, but it pays to be prepared. Still ahead, how you can prepare for digital estate planning.
The normal high now for Winnipeg for this time of year is just 9 degrees, and that's pretty much where we land throughout the long-range forecast. A touch warmer on Sunday, sunny as well, up to 11 degrees. Rain and showers return Monday, a high of 8. Mix of sun and cloud Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. One day a little bit warmer than the next, starting at 7 Tuesday, getting back up to 11 by Thursday. And you see those overnight lows, for the most part, stay above freezing, except for Tuesday night when we drop down to it.
The biggest meth seizure ever at New Zealand's border.
W5 exposes a global pipeline.
So that is meth from Canada.
And a crisis.
The product's flooding in.
Made in Canada. W5 investigates. Saturday at 7 on CTV.
A new center aimed at helping people living with Parkinson's has just celebrated its grand opening with a special visit from Winnipeg Jets forward Kyle Connor.
It affects a lot of people, and it's not just a person with Parkinson's. It's family members and everybody. So be able to create a center like this of sense of community, and people can come and really work on themselves and get better, and it's pretty awesome to see.
Connor has been working with U-Turn Parkinson's, a charity that offers free exercise classes to those living with the disease. This evening, the charity celebrated its grand opening at its new home inside Southdale Community Center. The charity plans to hold more than 20 classes a week at the center, including Tai Chi and dance classes. U-Turn organizers say these classes can make a big difference in the lives of those living with Parkinson's.
Everything from, minimizing their tremor to improving their sleep to just improving mood. There are lots of different ways that exercise can be helpful to someone living with Parkinson's.
All of these classes are being offered free of charge through monthly donations. You can learn more about the program by heading to U-Turn Parkinson's website. It is rivalry night at Princess Auto Stadium as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers take on the league-leading Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Pressure coming in. Calera, they got him. Ball's out. Riders have it.
The Bombers are looking to recover after Edmonton snapped its 2-game win streak last week, tightening the race in the West Division. The 12-4 Rough Riders are chasing a third straight win. The game kicks off tonight at 7. High school varsity football teams were literally tearing up the field after heavy rain made for some slick gameplay. There were 5 shutouts last night. Murdoch McKay Collegiate shut out visiting Garden City Gophers 24-zip. Kildonan East shut out Maples Collegiate 26-0. West Kildonan Collegiate shut out Portage Collegiate 46-0. St. Paul's High shut out Winnipeg's Vincent Massey Collegiate 3-0. And Dakota Collegiate shut out Sturgeon Heights 19-0. Now, the only game with scores on both sides of the board was a Brandon matchup. Vincent Massey High School and Crocus Secondary. Vincent Massey won that one 38-9.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady back now with your complete Skywatch forecast, and she's been counting all the raindrops that have been falling for us and has an update.
Well, I can tell you up till 4:15 I have been. I checked in with Environment and Climate Change Canada, and over a 36-hour period that ended at around 4:15, this how much has fallen. Now, in a general sense, more rain fell in the southwest than here in the southeast, but look at Rivers, Manitoba, in southwestern Manitoba, 37.4 millimeters there. Minnedosa, 27.7. Verdun, 24.2. A lot of other areas got fairly substantial rainfall amounts. Brandon, 14.5. Here in Winnipeg, less. 12.1 reported at the Forks, and out at the airport, 8.7 millimeters. So not quite as much as anticipated here in the south. Environment Canada says more is falling to the east and northwestern Ontario, where we're still seeing some of that rain. Those rain bands coming through, sweeping through places right now like Dryden and Sioux Lookout. So watch out for that continued rainfall there, but it is on its way out. But also the center of this Colorado low back in Manitoba, slowly moving northward, and it will bring all that rain with it into central and northern Manitoba tonight. It looks like by the time this all wraps up, it will be the northeast quadrant of the province that could still see 20-30 millimeters by the time it finally exits, and I'll show you it's going to take several hours yet for that to happen. Meanwhile, kickoff coming up soon out at Investors Group Field, or not, it's Princess Auto Stadium now. My goodness, I'm jumping back in time with that time capsule from Portage Place. Out at the stadium tonight, that game is about to get underway, and it looks like
It's cloudy now, so that's good. The precipitation seems to have ended there, but don't be surprised if a few more raindrops fall here and there across the south tonight as the system continues to move on out. But you can see that southeast continuing to see that rain come down. A little further there in north central areas, a bit of a flip over to snow. Meanwhile, we get the sunshine back tomorrow across much of the south. Throughout the day, we'll see a lot of other parts of the province still contending with some rainfall. Quite a few millimeters yet to fall in places like the northwest tomorrow as this system gradually makes its way out over Hudson Bay. But we should see, for the most part, a dry weekend here in southern Manitoba with considerable sunshine. You can see Sunday there is still pretty clear, particularly out in the southwest. Here in the southeast tonight, showers still possible, but looking less likely. 5 is our low. Winds out of the west at 20 kilometers an hour. Tomorrow morning, we'll get some sunshine up to 6. 12 is the high tomorrow under a mix of sun and cloud. On the backside of that Colorado low, we'll see some pretty strong west winds. Rain around the north tonight. Overnight lows between 4 and 6 degrees in the northeast. Thompson down to 3 degrees, staying put at 4 there tomorrow with more rain there and back across the northeast. Rain tonight across the northwest. 5-10 millimeters possible around the Paw, Flin Flon, similar amounts. More rain continuing tomorrow with those temperatures not moving very much from tonight. In the southwest tonight, any rain in the region now will be ending fairly soon. A little windy, though, for Brandon and Neepawa, down to 3 degrees. Best chance of showers tomorrow is around Dauphin and Swan River, but they can't be ruled out in Brandon, up to 10 there tomorrow. Winnipeg in the southeast, the showers coming to an end. Overnight lows around 5 degrees. There's a slight chance of showers around the region tomorrow. Highs of 10 and 11. And in northwestern Ontario, the rain and the winds still very active right now. Cloudy around the region tomorrow with highs around 11 and 12 degrees. To our weather photos we go. Now, Ron was up at the Gimli Pier there at the harbor and took that beautiful photo. Nice shot there, that nice alignment of the birds. And I thought this was a really stunning photo. Now, Sydney took this photo last evening amidst the rain and the mist. And that, of course, is the new tower at 300 Main here in Winnipeg downtown. Send your photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The CTV Skywatch Pick of the Day is brought to you by MJ the Musical at Centennial Concert Hall, November 5th tonight.
It's not pleasant to think about death or a medical emergency, but one of the greatest gifts you can give your family is being prepared for those situations. You're probably familiar with traditional estate planning, but now there's also digital estate planning, which can help your loved ones when they need it most. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Having a will and power of attorney will help your loved ones follow your wishes, but there's more to do. Think about your online accounts and which bills you pay. Are there important documents in your cloud storage? And what about all those photos on your phone? To create a digital estate plan, first, set up an in case of emergency document. Jot down the names, phone numbers, and emails of important people in your life. List the location of important documents like birth certificates, passports, and your social insurance number.
This document should also have your bank accounts, investments, and recurring bills. Put down when they're due and how you pay them. Be sure to mention if anything is on auto pay.
Secondly, you should also share your passwords. In order to pay your bills and handle other affairs, someone needs your login info. If you don't want to spell out your passwords, give hints or keep it simple with a password manager. Consumer Reports recommends using 1Password. It has annual family plans that covers up to 5 people who get access to shared folders. The third thing to do, designate a legacy contact for your online accounts.
A few tech companies let you grant control to someone else. There's Google's Inactive Account Manager, Facebook Legacy Contact, and Apple's Legacy Contact, to name a few.
Next, add your digital assets to your traditional will. That way, everything is tied together in one place and easy for your family or close friends to find. Finally, have an emergency planning meeting. Tell your loved ones your wishes and where they can find this information. Providing easy access to online accounts can make a painful time less stressful, and having things in order will give you peace of mind.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
CTV's W5 team has been investigating a meth smuggling ring that's taken them all the way to New Zealand. We speak to W5's Avery Haynes about what they found. And new therapies offer more relief options for the 8 million Canadians that live with chronic pain. But there's a hidden challenge many patients still live with. We'll explain next in Medical Watch. A disturbing picture of the cartel footprint here in Canada is coming to light thanks to an explosive investigation by our W5 team. Our country is the top exporter of methamphetamine to New Zealand and Australia. Avery Haynes exposes how in a one-hour special called Cartel Canada, which airs Saturday night right here on CTV. And W5's Avery Haynes joins us now with a bit of a preview. Avery, great to speak with you.
Nice to chat with you, too.
This is pretty shocking stuff. We've heard a lot from U.S. President Donald Trump claiming Canada is flooding the states with fentanyl, but we don't often hear about meth as much, and certainly not flowing into the Pacific.
Well, and this really is an untold story. And when I first started investigating it, I too was shocked. I just couldn't believe it when I was looking at the seizure numbers in New Zealand, that Canada was just at the top of the list over a 4-year period. No country on earth supplied more meth to New Zealand than Canada. And they're getting it in very ingenious ways and incredibly dangerous ways as well in the food supply. So putting liquid meth into cans of beer, or liquid meth into maple syrup or canola oil. So it really is a shocking story, a real story of discovery of Canada's involvement both as a producer of meth that is being sent to New Zealand, but also as a transit point for cartels further south bringing their meth up and then getting it across to New Zealand.
Your investigation tells the story of a young man in Auckland who died after unknowingly ingesting Canadian meth. Give us some information about how that meth was smuggled out of Canada.
It really is a tragic story, and it was the launching off point for our investigation, the story of this 21-year-old man who left work with a couple of cases of beer that his boss had given him for free. He thought that he was going to be, for the first time ever, trying a craft Canadian beer. He took one gulp and he died because there wasn't beer in that can, it was liquid meth. And New Zealand police started investigating, tracking where that manager had taken that beer from, and it was a warehouse in Auckland that was just loaded with pallets of beer from Canada. And also in that warehouse was kombucha from the United States, coconut water from India, all of this, a very sophisticated network bringing bringing food products from other countries into that warehouse where the liquid was being recrystallized into meth that was then being distributed on the streets of New Zealand.
Do we know who's behind these meth exports?
And when we got back to Canada, that was our big question. Okay, we know that Canada is responsible for the 2 largest meth busts in New Zealand's history. It came in 3/4 of a ton of meth in that beer, as well as over 700 kilos of meth in maple syrup. And we wanted to know, so what was the RCMP doing? What were Canadian police doing to investigate those shipments, the people who sent all that meth over? And I will say that the answers from the RCMP were left a lot to be desired in terms of we thought they'd be able to give us some information that we could go off of, or information on what was being done. This meth death happened 2.5 years ago, and the RCMP investigation didn't go anywhere really, and so we picked it up. And you'll see tomorrow night in our investigation we were able to not only track the route, but also the Canadian company that was set up to ship that meth and the person who was named as the director of that company.
Avery, sounds like great work. Very much looking forward to watching this series, and hopefully it leads to some real action being taken. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
You can watch this 1-hour special with Avery Haynes, Cartel Canada, right here on CTV Saturday night at 7 o'clock. It's also available on ctv.ca, the CTV app, and the CTV YouTube channel. Again, you can see it this Saturday at 7 p.m. Some 8 million Canadians live with chronic pain. New therapies are offering more options for relief, but many say stigma and lack of information are still issues they deal with. CTV's Pauline Chan has more.
It was a foot injury 11 years ago that started Aaron Adams' experiences with chronic pain, defined as pain lasting more than 3 months.
When that happens, the nervous system, there's changes to our nervous system.
Pain signals continue, often even after an injury has healed. For 13 months, Aaron's foot remained swollen until she was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome.
I've been to physio, been to chiro, been to
massage therapy. I was an inpatient.
And while she appreciates everyone did their best to help, nothing brought relief until she saw Dr. Zamir Pirani 2 years ago.
Chronic pain is an epidemic. So 1 in 5 Canadians currently suffer with chronic pain. It's a silent disease.
And he says in seniors, the rate is more like 1 in 3 people, with the numbers growing as Canada's population ages. Erin says stigma is also high.
It's very derogative because they think they can't see it, right? Well, you walk fine. I don't see you walking with a limp. What's wrong with it?
Pirani's clinics, one in Toronto and now one in Hamilton, offer a holistic approach to chronic pain management. They do procedures like the nerve-pulsed radio frequency treatment Erin receives, where X-ray guided bursts of radio frequency disrupt rather than destroy the nerves. Medications are another important factor for patients, but equally important are other psychological therapies.
We know that cognitive behavioral therapy, psychological interventions, managing their depression, their anxiety, their loneliness, their isolation, these all have a massive magnitude of effect for patients suffering with chronic pain.
We do things like breath work and humming. And I mean, breathwork can really change the acidity of your blood dramatically. So by blowing off a tremendous amount of carbon dioxide, you make the blood more alkaline.
Dr. Monty Sawala says this change allows the nerves to essentially reboot. Their in-person supportive programs are covered by OHIP. The goal is not necessarily to eliminate 100% of the pain, but to educate the patient and reduce the pain so that they can go on to live a full life. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manuke and Coster Denture Clinic. Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Absolute Brittany, a tribute to Britney Spears.
The Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra is promising an afternoon filled with elegance, energy, and charm Saturday. The WSO is tuning up for a special performance tomorrow afternoon with a special guest. That is internationally acclaimed violinist Alexandra Konyanova in rehearsal today at the Centennial Concert Hall. She's making her Canadian debut with the WSO. The show is called Strauss Dances and Dreams, celebrating the 200th anniversary of the Waltz King, Johann Strauss Jr. She'll be performing other classics as well. Konyanova says classic music can touch everyone, even if you don't know a lot about it.
I think it's a great experience to have, and just to have a moment of true sharing from heart to heart, from artists to the people. I think we are servants of music, of art, and we transmit something that makes the world better.
Konyanova says she's receiving a warm Winnipeg welcome. Strauss Dances and Dreams begins tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock at Centennial Concert Hall. For tickets, visit WSO.ca. A toothy musical is here just in time for Halloween. It's a vampire musical comedy created and performed by 2 Winnipeg artists. It's called Afterlight, the story of an elderly insomniac and a 500-year-old vampire. The play was created and is performed by Sharon Bajer and Duncan Cox. On stage, the duo channels their years of friendship into the show's unlikely romantic duo. Afterlight runs from October 24th to November 2nd at the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Centre. For showtimes and tickets, visit rainbowstage.ca. Kick off the weekend with some great entertainment starting at 7 with Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Special Forces World's Toughest Task follows at 8. And the premiere of Blue Blood spin-off Boston Blue is next at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
12 degrees, the highest temperature today. The normal now is just 9. That was our lowest temperature today. On this day 1 year ago, a lot warmer, nowhere near that record high. Tonight, we're seeing that rain ending. It'll clear out overnight. Sunshine through the weekend, but rain to start off the week next week.
Don't worry about the rain. We're going to set you off on the weekend on the right note because Canadian legends Blue Rodeo are in Winnipeg right now for their 40th anniversary tour. They're playing 3 shows at the Bird, and we're going to leave you with some of last night's performances. Enjoy and have a great weekend.